Hello from the Azores, and welcome to another episode of the Azorean Mind. Today, we're diving deep into a chilling question. What if Antarctica completely melted? Grab your floaties, because this is going to be one wild, watery ride. First off, let's get a sense of scale. Antarctica holds about 60% of the world's fresh water. Imagine pouring all that into the ocean. It's like turning your bathtub into an Olympic swimming pool. But how could this happen? Climate change, folks. If global temperatures keep rising, our icy friend down south might just turn into a giant puddle. So, what happens if Antarctica says adios to its ice? Let's start with the big splash: rising sea levels. We're talking about a rise of around 60 meters, 200 feet. That's like stacking 20 giraffes on top of each other. Coastal cities, they'd be underwater. Say goodbye to places like New York, Tokyo, and Amsterdam. It's like Mother Nature turning the world map into a water park. Melting all that ice would dump a massive amount of fresh water into the salty oceans, messing up ocean currents. It's like adding a ton of ice cubes to your soup. Not exactly what the recipe calls for. This could drastically change weather patterns, making some places hotter and others colder. Expect the unexpected. Now, let's paint some scenarios. Picture this: skyscrapers peeking out of the water like modern-day Atlantis. People would have to adapt, creating floating cities or living in submarines. Your morning commute? Swimming to work or catching an underwater bus. With massive flooding, some regions would become uninhabitable. But on the flip side, areas that are currently too cold might become fertile farmland. Siberia? The new breadbasket of the world. It's like turning your freezer into a greenhouse. Polar bears, penguins, and seals would be in a pickle. They'd have to migrate, leading to a wildlife shakeup. Imagine seeing penguins waddling around in Patagonia, or polar bears chilling, literally, in northern Canada. It's like a global wildlife shuffle. Such a monumental melt would send shockwaves through economies and societies. Insurance rates would skyrocket, and millions of people would become climate refugees. Governments would need to rethink borders, economies, and ways of life. It's like hitting the reset button on civilization. A huge challenge, but also an opportunity for innovation and resilience. So, what if Antarctica completely melted? It'd be a world-changing event, with dramatic impacts on our planet and our lives. But hey, let's use this as a wake-up call to take climate action seriously. After all, it's better to keep Antarctica as a frozen wonderland than to turn our cities into swim zones. If you found this dive into a watery future fascinating, give us a thumbs up, share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more explorations into the wild and wacky what-ifs of our world. Until next time, stay cool and stay curious.